You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It's takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, it's Jessie. How's everybody doing out there today? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. Alright, so for those of you who didn't catch it, I got to rant international politics domestic politics last night on America Off the Rails. Yeah, that's something I tend to shy away from on this show. I brush up against it all the time, but I don't cover elections, I don't discuss Congress. And you all know that. So if you want to hear my take on that, you can go find last night's America Off the Rails, which, just like Jessie's POV, is available on many of your favorite podcast locations. iTunes, iHeart, Google Play Music, and the list goes on. Alright. Yes, I know the show title tonight is Petrified Woodpecker Beaks and Crazy Deals. Yeah, I got creative with my title. What can I say? It's true, though. Those are actually things we're going to be talking about. You're looking at me going, what does a petrified woodpecker beak have to do with security? Well, you're going to have to hang in there with me, probably until after the commercial break to find that one. And, I've got news. Justin Kinney will be joining us next Wednesday. Now, I'm also coming up mid-June on a decent-sized announcement that you're going to want to stay tuned for. So, I'm not giving away the house yet, but you're going to have to stay tuned. And for those of you that hang out with me in chat, you may already have the answers. What? Chat? Yes, KLRNRadio.com/chat. When I am live, that's where you'll find me. Of course, you can also tag me in a tweet at Radio Host Jessie. And as always, for those of you who are older school, you can email me at the station at jessiespov@klrnradio.com. Oh yes, I know that show title still got you scratching your head. I promise, all will be made clear. Just give me a little bit of time. Of course, the two obvious crazy deals are the Iran nuclear deal and a potential deal with North Korea. And then there's, of course, the protests in the streets. Yes, I know I haven't mentioned them in a few days. They are continuing. I know. It's one of those things. You're still scratching your head. Well, crazy deals. And by the way, not to mention Saudi Arabia. Oh yeah, I'm going there again. Saudi Arabia is still at it. They haven't learned their lesson. No, they haven't managed to learn their lesson. What do I mean? Well, they're still cracking down on women's rights. Yeah. I don't think they get it that this is just such a bad idea that I can't even begin to explain it. And for those of you just tuned into KLRN Radio, you missed a great show tonight from our very own Grouch. I know, I'm just kind of rambling, warming up. That's no exception. Hey, I'm still sending out my tweets. Cut me a little bit of slack. So, alright. What is going on in this world? Well, there's always a lot. And I don't know how else to say it other than the chaos continues. Yes, the chaos continues. Just as a quick overview of the headlines, for those of you who live under rocks, North Korea is, of course, threatening to cancel the summit. That's not news. Okay. They also say that Mike Pence's remarks were stupid, and that they are willing not to meet. Well, no kidding. Recent comments by Vice President Mike Pence were stupid and ignorant, and again, North Korea warned it was willing to pull out of a planned summit between KJU and President Trump. The Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I've always noticed that countries that have the word democratic in their names rarely are. Slammed the comments Pence made in a recent interview, comparing North Korea to Libya, and saying that proves he doesn't understand North Korea's situation, and that they will not beg the United States for dialogue, nor take the trouble to persuade them, if they do not want to sit together with us. Well, no offense, guys. We're not the ones threatening to back out of the deal every 5 minutes, out of the summit every 5 minutes. That would be you. Yes, that would be you, not us. We're not the ones who've already gone back on our word. That again would be you. Yes, it was record-breaking time in which North Korea broke their recent promises. And of course, they were not pleased that Trump met with South Korean President Moon Jae-in at the White House. And there is a substantial chance that the meeting with Kim Jong-un won't happen. And Kim has not met the, quote, conditions for the summit. Now, they've never told us what the conditions are, and I kind of understand and respect that. I really do. What I don't like is if the conditions aren't met and the summit doesn't go forward, I think we need to know what those conditions were. Not before, only after. Which protects the time and space allows the time and space for diplomacy to take place, private and behind closed doors. However, if the conditions aren't met, whatever they are, why don't you tell us so we have an idea what you were thinking? Yes, tell us. I'm not saying in advance. I'm saying only if things don't work out. If they do, of course keep them to yourself. But if not, let them go and tell the public. I am briefly going to mention a topic that normally wouldn't come up on my show, except in a comment of thoughts and prayers. Except there was an international victim. Yes, most of you aren't aware of this. There was a Pakistani exchange student. She was 17. Sabika Shaikh was among the 10 students and staff slain at Santa Fe High School. She was her family's oldest child and began classes at the high school in August. She had been planning her return to Pakistan in a few weeks for Eid al-Fitr, the 3-day holiday marking the end of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Her tearful father, Abdul Aziz Shaikh, went to the Karachi airport to receive her body early Wednesday as it arrived in her hometown. As the coffin was lowered to the ground, he said her life and the lives of others would not be wasted if steps were taken for stricter gun control in the whole world. While I don't agree with his statements, I can certainly sympathize with the loss of his daughter. No parent should have to bury a child. However, it happens time and time again in this world. At a memorial service in Texas over the weekend, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner said she continues to be she wanted to enter the diplomatic corps. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner said she continues to be a diplomat because even in her death, she is pulling the relationships between Pakistan and the United States, especially the Houston area, even closer. And by the way, Pakistan does require gun owners to be licensed, but the rules are very poorly enforced. So no offense, Pakistan, until you start enforcing your gun rules, don't yell at us about ours. And by the way, heavily armed groups have carried out scores of attacks in recent years, including at schools. What can I say? But this tragedy has crossed borders. And while this tragedy is a horrific thing in and of itself, the fact that it took the life of a foreign national only further adds it to the world stage. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spent some time on Capitol Hill this week, testifying at the House Foreign Affairs Committee. While these testimonies are often boring and monotonous, here's one little bite I wanted you to hear, and it's about the issue of Saudi Arabia I've been bringing up.
I've spoken with the leadership of Saudi Arabia, although I haven't had a chance to speak to them lately on that.
I hope you will. Next, Mr. Secretary, I want to build on Mr.
The question was about Saudi Arabia's crackdown on women's rights. I find it very rich and very amusing, and sometimes extremely humorous, when countries will say that we have a horrible human rights abuses in our country. To them, I say look inward. By the way, did you know that Iraq had a recent election? I know, I never mentioned it. I was waiting. What was I waiting for? Well, I was waiting to see how it would turn out. Not just the results, but how did the security work? As part of an Operation Inherent Resolve briefing, yes, those are still going on. They're just less and less interesting. I managed to grab this audio clip.
The elections that were held here the last 12th of May were the safest election ever held in Iraq in the last 5 years. And this is thanks to the Iraqi security forces that were providing the security on the cities, on the fields, and wherever the elections were held. The results of the elections are the results of a democratic country and are the results of the Iraqi people. And I don't think that the results of the election will make a difference on the Iraqi security forces, as long as we will continue together to fight ISIS and to stabilize this country.
And by the way, if you're wondering about that voice, it was an Italian general. Yes, Italy's part of that coalition as well. But wait, there's news about Italy. And it's a bit disconcerting. A political unknown, Giuseppe Conte, has been appointed Prime Minister of Italy after winning the approval of President Sergio Mattarella. Because guess what? They're going to form a new government. You heard me. They're going to form a new government. This is undoubtedly going to be messy. However, What can I say about it other than to say it's disconcerting? Because will this government decide to pull out of NATO? That's not something we know at this point. Giuseppe Conte gave an address after meeting Italian President Sergio Mattarella at the presidential palace in Rome. Italy's president summoned Conte for consultations to see if the law professor, capped by the Eurosceptic Five-Star Movement and League as their candidate for premier, has what it takes to try and form a government. Yes, I said form a government. So yes, Italy is on the verge of trashing its own governmental system. Conte is a law professor. He's never held political office. He met with the president for nearly 2 hours, amid concern in Brussels, and the markets were made skittish about Europe's third largest economy taking a drastic isolationist turn. My question is, for Italy, are you going to stand up with the treaties and commitments that have been previously honored? Are you going to stay a member of NATO? Are you going to stay in the coalition and live up to your word? These are not just actions. These are things that are ratified. These are things that have stood the test of time. A coalition government. Well, I've seen one in action before. Not personally, not directly, but through the eyes of other friends. Sometimes they don't know who's going to be leading their country for weeks after an election. I don't think that sounds very stable in my book. When for 2 or 3 weeks after an election, you still don't know who's running the place. What if, God forbid, something were to happen during that time? And Italy, yes, Italy's new government is the next crisis in Europe. What do I mean? Well, the new government is considering Italy's potential exit from the Eurozone, requesting that European Central Bank cancel 250 billion euros in Italian public debt and softening sanctions on Russia. Yes, these sound like politics we've all seen and heard. It's a radical break with the past, unless you're a student of history. There have been other countries that have made other moves with their governments. While this is new, Italy is unlikely to become as authoritarian as some EU member states. You wonder which ones? Think Hungary and Poland. No, it'll probably look more like Austria. What does this mean? A fadcade of democratic normality, extremely tough anti-immigration policies. Oh, fadcade? Did you catch that? Yeah, it means, well, you get to go to the polls and you get to vote. Your vote really doesn't matter. Host Kitty, you need to settle down. Host Kitty seems to be blowing his jets out tonight. Oh, you have a comment about an authoritarian government? He doesn't catch all my words, but he caught that one. I'll have to see if I can get him for fresh comments one of these days. Who knows? I do think that the days of the EU, European Union, are limited. I'm sorry, but it can't continue. It's great when all is quiet, all is well, to have a one border admission to all policy. But in the modern age of current wave of terrorism and terrorist threats, is this really a good thing? I mean, really? Is this something? Are you willing to let another country's safety and security control yours? I don't like those ideas and concepts. I also don't like one nation ruling over another. And in the case of the European Union, it's setting policies for all member states, even if they oppose them, even if their citizens don't want it. The most recent, which actually I don't think is too bad, is something called GDPR. What? You hadn't heard of GDPR? You must not have a website. Although, if you've noticed in your inbox, you're getting all these updated privacy policies. Yeah, you've seen that email. From your supermarket, from whatever retail store you shop at. You know which ones I'm talking about. Well, that's all you can thank GDPR. What is GDPR? GDPR is an EU law. Wait, there's that word again. That says you have more control over your data and who gets to access it. Since I help out with the station's website, I got to peek behind what it meant for the radio station. Well, we thankfully didn't have too much to do because evidently we've nuked our mailing list. So we didn't have to deal with that. But we did have to put up a privacy policy. And it had to say a whole lot of legalese things. But basically, we had to say that our server company and the administration at the station can have access to your data. Trust me, none of us have time to go looking for that cookie you left when you left a comment in the chat room. Every IT department has to be able to determine where the protected data is located, where it's stored. And just to say it's on your server in the United States isn't enough. How does it get to that server? What happens to it when it's used? Well, quite frankly, here at the station, we don't use it. You send our manager an email through the contact form. We're not going to sell your email address. Quite frankly, if you try and use the wrong email address, it'll go into a dead letter file. This is one of those things that even though we're a US-based business, they may or may not be able to actually levy that 10 million euro fine on us. But who wants to take those chances? Oops. Have you noticed the clock? I just looked up. I have blown past the commercial break. All right, because we're coming up on Memorial Day, you guys are getting the same bumper music all the way through. And we are going to take that pay those radio station bills, and I will see you on the other side.
They fight and die for our freedom. No one had to ask them to go without a moment's hesitation. For the red, white, and blue.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
They fight and die for our freedom. No one had to ask them to go without a moment's hesitation. For the red, white, and blue.
Alright, you've listened to me ramble. We've paid those station bills. And I promised you petrified woodpecker lips. Well, I'm not going to get there immediately. But I promise, they're in the offing. Secretary of Defense Mattis. Oh, he is known for his one-liners. If you tuned in last night, he talked about penguins. Well, at least the audio clip of him I played did. I try and inject some humor. But I picked out just a few of his clips from his speech at the Air Force Academy graduation. Here's a couple of my favorites.
It is now your responsibility to ensure our adversaries know they should always prefer to talk to our Department of State rather than face the U.S. Air Force.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. And this sentiment is always valid.
Growing up as witnesses to the longest stretch of combat in our nation's history, every single one of you could have chosen a different college, a different profession, a different path. Paths that would have been undoubtedly far less demanding than what this academy asked of you these past 4 years, or what our Air Force, our nation, and even our allies will ask of you in the years to come as together we defend freedom, pledging your honor just as those patriots did who signed our Declaration of Independence, and independence you will now defend with your lives. For at your young age, you chose to pursue a life of service, and for that, our nation gives you respect, because you signed a blank check to the American people payable with your lives. You now stand ready to hold the line to protect America's experiment in democracy with all the cunning, ferocity, and grit you have inside you.
Those are pretty cool words. All right. I won't keep you waiting any longer.
We need you now and tomorrow at the top of your game. We need you harder than petrified woodpecker lips. We need you mentally sharp. We need you physically tough. And we need you spiritually strong. So aim high, clear into the outer reaches of space. Fly, fight, and win. And as you have been good cadets, go and be good officers.
There it is. Yes. He equated the strength of the Air Force with petrified woodpecker lips. I'll play it again.
Top of your game. We need you harder than petrified woodpecker lips.
All right, so yes, I kept you waiting 2/3 of the show for that one clip. No, I'm not above teasing you a little bit. There's so many other things I could have picked on today. But I wanted to pick on a bit of fun. Can you blame me? There's so much angst in this world. And we are dealing with so much chaos. I mean, when you look at the Iran nuclear deal, the North Korean nuclear weapons program, and the record speed with which North Korea has backed out of its promises, it's sometimes hard to maintain any positivity. But when you listen to the Secretary of Defense Mattis, yeah, he's one mad dog. Sometimes you can't help but smile. Now, there's one other little thing I want to bring up. And you haven't heard much about it. It's China. Well, we've done it. We disinvited them from a multinational naval exercise. Oh yeah, Asian markets have been lower. And the big one is there's a U.S. worker in China that has suffered a brain injury due to mysterious sound sensations. Didn't I say this once before? Yes, it was in relation to Cuba. And while the trade war doesn't seem like it's going to be erupting anytime soon, I don't want us to fall into a trap of thinking that all trade with China is great and letting them do anything is the way to go. I'm working to get something queued up. No, I don't have it ready. Come on, you know me better than that. So yes, we're going to pull just a little bit of what Marco Rubio said on the Senate floor today. Because he basically said that, and I'm paraphrasing heavily, he could see us in a state where the U.S. has to give in, a weakened United States has to give in to China's demands, or our citizens will perish from a lack of biomedicines that China has produced, and that where because they are the leader in supercomputing power, we won't be able to encrypt anything, because no matter how strongly we encrypt it, it'll be broken in a matter of days. And that's why we should look at trade with China, while on a positive step, we should be wary of bad deals. Here, I think I've got it ready for you.
Phone's cheaper, and they shipped it back to the United States, leading to lower prices. That's not the imbalance I'm talking about. The imbalance we're headed to is they control state-of-the-art artificial intelligence. They control the state-of-the-art quantum computing, which means that nothing can be encrypted anymore, which means there are no such things as secure cars left. The President of the United States one day will not be able to talk to his national security officials anywhere in the world without the Chinese hearing it, because no matter what encryption you put in, they'll break it with a quantum computer. That's the imbalance I'm talking about. The imbalance I'm talking about is one day we'll have a dispute with China on something on national security somewhere in the world, and they will threaten to cut off our supply of biomedicines. In essence, threaten the lives of Americans not getting medicine unless we cave to their desires. That's the imbalance I'm talking about. The imbalance I'm talking about is one where they dominate aerospace, where they are the nation that controls satellites and satellite communication. They are the nation that controls 5G. We're headed towards autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles will depend on 5G technology. And China will dominate the world in 5G, and we will depend on it. So we're going to build a fleet of autonomous trucks and autonomous cars, and none of them will work if the Chinese decide to shut it down because they dominate that field.
I think he makes several good points. I know it's rare you hear such a long clip, especially on such a domestic issue. But it's such a national security issue. I had to bring it up. While I'm often talking about the South China Sea, oh yeah, that old chestnut. No, things haven't gotten any better. We disinvited them from the military exercise because of the South China Sea. Yeah, that real-world Minecraft. Beijing's South China Sea building boom is fueling concerns. Because, well, they're putting stuff where there wasn't any. From above, it looks like a clean and neatly planned small town with a sports ground, neat roads, and large civic buildings. But wait, the town is on a Subai Reef in the South China Sea. The Spratlys. Well, there's another name for them too, but I can't recall it at the moment. So we're going with Spratlys. And it's in the hotly contested South China Sea, and regional security experts believe it could soon be home to China's first troops. Yeah, it sure does have the look of a military base. They are essentially small towns. It could be the future, Subai could be the future location of hundreds of People's Liberation Army Marines, as well as a possible administrative hub as China cements its claim with a civilian presence. Security analysts and diplomatic sources are screaming from the rooftops. Well, what else can I say? But that real world Minecraft is quite interesting. And who knows what's going to happen next? Are we going to see a Chinese military base in these contested waters this week or this month? All right, folks. I do not have a Good Guys with Guns, so we are going to wrap up here for the night. Yes, I know it's a few minutes early, but we're wrapping because miracles never cease. I've hit the end of my show prep. As always, you can follow me on Radio Host Jesse. You can email me at the station at jessespov at KLRNRadio.com. And you can catch me here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Until then, I'm gone.